I started getting really interested and really serious about dividend investing in April this year. So it hasn't been that many months since I started my dividend portfolio, but every single month I'm tracking the dividends I get paid so I can look back at it in years to come. And the last month, so November, has been no different. I've tracked my dividends, and even though I'm a little bit apprehensive to share this video because trust me, the dividends that I got paid in November were as far away from optimal as you can imagine, and I took a big hit if you compare the dividend income in November to October. But hey, it's all about being transparent and sharing the journey, and we'll get into some reasons why the dividend income in November wasn't that great. But yeah, I'm going to share that with you guys today. So if you're a dividend investor yourself and you're perhaps a lot further in the journey than I am, I always love to hear you guys' experience, and if you've got any advice for me or you just want to share what you've done that perhaps is a little bit different to me, always open to hear it, so do leave your comments below. With that all said, let's jump in and see how much my dividend portfolio paid me in the month of November. So like I was saying, and if you've watched these videos before, you'll already know, I created myself a dividend tracker. And that's just because I wanted to be able to customize it as I saw fit and for it to show the information that I want to see at a snapshot. Personally, right now in my journey, I'm not looking for a dividend tracker that is super overcomplicated. I want to keep it simple, and I want to be able to see exactly what my dividends are doing month by month and company by company. So that's what I've done. I've created this. I've made it available both now on Google Sheets, which is what we're looking at right now, and also on the Numbers app if you are a Mac user, if you're an Apple user, I guess I should say. Anyway, I've got this section here at the top left, which shows me how much the dividend portfolio paid me every single month. And you can see November's currently 0, so we'll input that together. And I can see a total here as well. And that total is going to become really important when I've been doing this for a few years, so I can see exactly the increase from year to year. And I am very positive and very hopeful that it will be quite a good increase. And then on the right hand side here is that information, but graphically, because I'm someone that just likes to look at graphs, and I think it's really nice to see dividends grow on a graph. You can see that it's not been all smooth sailing so far, and I definitely haven't seen the most tidy and the nicest graph to look at, whereby it's increasing every single month and we're seeing like an exponential growth, like a curve. But it's realistic, right? We are not going to see that every month happen with a dividend portfolio. Some months are naturally going to be lower. And that comes down to the companies that you have in your portfolio. If you're able to create yourself a portfolio in which every single month you are getting paid a good amount, then perhaps that will happen. But I'm not picking my stocks based on what months they pay in. It's always fun to look at that, and it's a consideration maybe in the back of my mind sometimes. But I'm picking stocks which I think are good quality stocks. And if they happen to pay only twice a year, or they happen to pay 4 times a year, but then 4 times are all the same as other months that I have stocks for, if that makes sense, then that's fine as well. So just naturally, some months are higher than others. And I don't know about you guys, but we'll see what I got paid for November, and we'll compare it to October, which was my biggest month by far. You can see here on the graph. Is November typically quite a low paying dividend month across all stocks? Let me know if you guys know the answer to that question. Because for some reason, I was thinking that November would be quite a nice amount of money coming in, and it really was not. And I don't know why I thought that. Maybe there was like no data to back that up, and it was just a thought that came into my head and I grabbed hold of it. I don't know. But November was definitely a hard one for me. So let me know if that was the same as for you guys. So we're going to plot that as well in a minute. And then down here, I've got every company that has ever paid me a dividend and how much they've paid me per month. And you'll notice that there are 2 colors here. So there are orange boxes and pink boxes. And basically what that is because I have my Interactive Brokers dividend portfolio, my dividend account. They're all in orange. But I also still have VUSA on my Vanguard account, which is my last year ISA provider, and that also pays me dividends. So I've plotted that in pink just so I can see the difference. So in November, I got 2 dividends. I got one from Tritax Big Box, which is of course a REIT, and the first one that I've ever got from BAE Systems. So that was quite exciting to be able to add a new company to this this table here and actually see dividends come in from them for the very first time. I've put them in black here as if they're a massive reveal. Please do not think what you're about to see is crazy. You can already see that Tritax Big Box have paid me twice already, once in June and once in August. And both of those were very, very small payments if you compare it to how much I've got paid from Vusa, Unilever, Rio, and even Diageo, even National Grid. They're all very big compared to what Tritax have been paying me. So without further ado, let's see how much I got paid in November. Drum roll, please. 94 smackaroonies. I got 94p. I'm being really sarcastic here, but it's just because it's such a small amount. It kind of puts fuel on the fire as to the whole argument of dividend investing is pointless. But I will argue that point. It is not pointless. This is very small amounts, but they will grow. They will grow and grow and grow. They will get reinvested and become bigger amounts as time goes on. How can I expect to get massive amounts when, one, I've got a small portfolio, right? I don't have loads and loads of money in these stocks. And two, I am literally April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I'm 8 months in by this point. Not even a year or however many months. I may have miscounted that just then. I tend to get my months mixed up sometimes when I'm counting them. But yeah, I'm not too... It's laughable at this point, but also when I think about the fact that in October I got 1680 in one payment, that's amazing for doing absolutely nothing. And it just added more money back into the portfolio. So yeah, 94p came from Tritax Big Box in November. I'm just on the Tritax Big Box website now, so we can take a little look at what they do. So they own, manage and develop prime logistic real estate in the UK. Basically, what they do is they own, manage and develop big warehouses in the UK that then companies rent out to store or do whatever they do with their own products. So they have customers, really big customers. They have warehouses for Amazon, which is incredible. They have warehouses for Royal Mail, Dunelm Mill, loads, Tesco, Sainsbury's, the list goes on. You can actually look at their portfolio. And you can read, obviously, about them more here. But I think the point to be said here is they are attracting some really, really large companies. Companies that, personally, I don't think are going to go bust anytime soon. Companies that have their own loyal customers that are going to do well through economic downtimes. They're going to do well through possible recessions. Just these companies that I personally don't think are going to go anywhere anytime soon. So all the time those companies are in business and need places to store their products, Tritax Big Box are a fantastic option for those companies. Now, of course, there may be competitors to Tritax that will shake that a little bit and, maybe they're not such a good option for these customers. But as far as it looks right now, Tritax Big Box is definitely one that I want in my own portfolio. So just taking a look at my favorite website, it seems right here, Dividend Max. The dividend yield for Tritax is 4.7%. This may be slightly off. I wouldn't take this as absolute, but it's normally very accurate and it's normally very good at a snapshot view. It's a good one to just look at. And you can see that the next payday is coming in March. So annual dividends, we can see that they've been doing quite well over time, had a little dip in 2020, but not something we really need to worry about there. And then if I go over to dividend data, what you can do is you can put the amount of shares that you have in and it will tell you how much that's worth and also what dividends you can expect. So I actually have 56 shares of this company. So 56 shares of Big Box Tritax is worth £83.50. And you can see that the dividend payments here align with pretty much what you've been seeing that I've been getting. Now, I do probably need to add to this position because it is quite a small position in my portfolio. I think it's one of the smallest at this point now. But let's just take a look. If I manage to roughly double my position, what sort of dividends can I be expecting? So I could be expecting payments of about £1.68 per quarterly payment instead of the 94p that I've been seeing. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to invest some more money. So what was the difference there? 83 to, roughly speaking, 149. So yeah, I'm going to have to throw some more money into this, of course, and reinvest those dividends if I want higher dividend amounts coming in. But ideally, I would like this one to be paying me, this sort of region, maybe the back end of next year. Maybe I can even do better than that. Let's see. So coming back to the dividend tracker here, we've got BAE Systems. So let's see how much they paid me, the first ever payment that I got from them. 52p. So not even as high as Tritax paid me. And I believe, okay, no, it's not the lowest I've ever been paid. That's from Trig. Second lowest payment that I've ever got on in my portfolio. But there are some reasons as to why that may be slightly lower than I was possibly expecting. I had a little deep dive into this to see why that was so low. And basically, so obviously how much you get paid and if you get paid depends on the ex-dividend date. So you have to own a certain stock by a certain date in order to get paid the next dividend, blah, 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 blah. And I had a little look how many shares I actually owned of this stock when I got paid. And I only had 5 shares at this time. I now own 11. So let's do the same thing. Let's just go to dividend data and we'll have a little look. So at the time I got paid, I had 5 shares, which cost me about £41. And you can see the payments, you can see exactly what I was paid. It was bang on. The final payment will be a bit higher. So if it was a final payment, I would have got about 76p instead of 52. But I now actually own 11 shares. So let's see. So next time I get paid, I'll get a bit more than double what I got this time, which is really, really cool and definitely a better amount to be paid. And it will, of course, get reinvested. Just taking a look at BAE Systems here. So they only pay twice a year. So the next payment is coming in April 2023. So hopefully before that point, I can add to my position. Whether I get paid that new amount or not depends on the ex-dividend date, of course. But over time, I do want to add to my position in this company. I think it's a fantastic one to have. And I spoke all about why I think that in my last Invest With Me video. So check that out if you're interested in this stock. Dividend yield, 3.1%, very respectable. And if we look at the annual dividends, as a dividend growth investor, I mean, I'm not only that. I do definitely detour from that time to time, but I try to have these stocks that are able to increase their dividends year on year. And this is one of those companies that have shown that to me. So let's just add this in. In November, I was paid, actually, just quickly, what I also have here, I didn't want to show it because obviously it spoiled the fun of revealing these massive numbers. I'm going to color both of these in orange because they're both from my interactive brokers portfolio. But I also have a tally of how much each company's paid me. So of course, BAE Systems paid me once, 52p. But it adds up automatically, which is quite nice. So I got paid £1, is it £1.46, yeah, in November. So I can plot that in here. And I can see now that appears on the graph. I was a bit disappointed, I won't lie, because I was naively, I was hoping that I would see another increase. But that's not how it happens. Like I said, depending on what stocks you have, some months are going to be lower than others. That's completely normal. And what I'm really, really interested in seeing, actually, trying to be optimistic about this, is how November next year compares to this year. So this year, November, I only got paid £1.46. Imagine if November next year, I could look back and say that I got paid £10.46 or even more. That would be incredible. Any increase would be incredible. And that will happen year on year on year. I'm filming this video on the 14th of December and I've already noticed that I've been paid one dividend payment for the month of December, and it's way bigger than both of them payments in November combined. And I think I've got Vusa coming in as well in December, so that's going to boost it right up. So I'm thinking December will be a pretty nice month compared to November, so I'm very, very excited about that. But of course, I will share exactly the moves I'm making in this portfolio, what I'm investing into in my Invest With Me videos, any positions that I'm rebalancing or selling out of, perhaps I'll share that. Fully transparent on this channel, guys, you know that. And I'll be doing another one of these, how much my portfolio paid me, next month. But I do think it's really important for people to see the beginning stages of this journey. And for people that don't have masses and masses amounts in their portfolio, it's important to see someone a little bit more realistic and perhaps relatable, because there's a lot of people out there with massive portfolios that for whatever reason they've been able to put tons and tons and tons of money in, and they've not even let it grow over time, and they're already getting lots of dividends. And everyone's situation is different, and I think and hope I can get there one day. But we're in the early stages, and I love all the support and how uplifting all of you guys are towards this channel and towards my own journey. So thank you so much, and I'll be back with another video very soon.